Welcome to the midweek review. Today we're talking lubrication. Woolube's an Australian company that manufactures not only canned lubricants and pump sprays, but also grease cartridges and citrus cleaner. And today I'm going to put a few of these products through their paces and see how they cook up. So what is this stuff? Well, the lubricants are all made out of lanolin, which comes from the wool of sheep when it's boiled down and has been used by humans for thousands of years. First up, I thought I'd better try out the Degreaser since the tractor was handy. I had a couple of really greasy spots on the tractor on the side of the transmission and the PDO shaft.
I already know better. 24K got nothing on me. Make you want it forever. Trying to play a game, but you don't play for keeps. Messing with a girl from the east side, yeah. Kinda love you, wanna build your dreams on, yeah. But I already know better.
And then I tried out the Degreaser on the bike chain, and because it's food grade, I moved over to the barbecue and got rid of 1,001 flavours off the grill.
Tell me all the ways you miss it. How you want me back in your bed. But I'm not around for hearing you out. I gave you too much honestly, and you closed the door. Now you're calling me, but I don't need you anymore.
And I reckon the Barbie's ready for restaurant quality. One thing it did do is it did make the paint on the front of this Barbie, I think it's pretty cheap chalky paint, it did make that smear a bit when I rubbed it. So I'm probably just going to go over the Barbie with some hot soapy water before I cook on it. Don't want to introduce too many new flavours. And then I'm going to try some of this heavy duty lanolin grease. That's chain lube. And we'll see how that hangs on. Not bad. Now, I'm no grease chemist, but I am told that this lanolin grease is the equivalent of a general purpose petroleum-based grease. Now, the general purpose grease was a little bit harder to load into the grease gun than I am used to. It's a lot harder than I expected. This is a cheaper style grease gun. If you had a better quality one, that might not be so much of an issue, but it is quite heavy grease. As general purpose grease, it's fine to use on the tractor. Just don't put it in applications where you wouldn't put other general purpose greases. That is in high pressure or temperature applications where specialised grease is required. The cool thing about this grease though, it doesn't taste very good, but it is food grade, which means I can use this on machinery that's being used for food preparation.
Got me, I'm good. I'm head over shoes on hardwood.
If you're like me and you muck around with food equipment like this grape destemmer and crusher, having some food grade grease and some food grade lubricant when you're doing up one of these machines or stripping them down ready for the season is gold. And if you don't have to go and get special stuff, it's part of your daily arsenal. Better yet, you're not going to make any mistakes. The other place that I'm going to use the heavy duty one is on the fish plates and the linkages of my fertiliser spreader. You see, fertiliser is highly corrosive, and because it's commonly in a powder form, it gets into everything and gets everywhere. And so spreaders, even though they've got big plastic tubs and stuff these days, tend to rust out in the fish plates and the metal fittings because the fertiliser gets into them and oxidises them. So this should stick to that and solve the problem. It's better already. Next up is the typical miracle in a spray can type stuff. It's the light duty lubricant. This goes up against most of the commercial brands in a can. Hinges. Ah, that's better. They'll never know when I'm home now. Outdoor padlocks. And also, because lanolin's a natural wax, you can use it on cracked and dried out leather. Tell you what, that's the easiest shoe polish I've ever put on. And another tip I got from a gardener quite a while ago was to lubricate cutting edges of things like hedge trimmers with lanolin products rather than petroleum-based products. because they're less likely to burn the leaves and the stems of the plants that you're cutting. Just a little tip, plus it stops corrosion. As such, you can use this on all of your garden tools without worry. I'm also told it might help me with all the smushed up critters on my Bullbar. It's been a while. Not sure if it's taking them off necessarily as just covering them up, but I'm told it creates a protective barrier so that they don't smush there and stick in the first place. Damn, it worked. That means I've got to do the rest of it.
Got nothing on me, make you want it forever. Try to play a game, but you don't play for keeps. Messing with a girl from the east side.
Now, last but not least is this Corrosion Protector. They reckon it evaporates rapidly to a low tack surface, and it provides protection against corrosion if you're driving on salty areas like beaches and down in the ocean and stuff like that. So this would be really good if you live in Queensland or New South Wales and you like to drive on beaches. I'd be coating all your door sills and your drain holes and everything in this. Let's take it into the shed, spray it on some steel and then try it out with some paper towel and see how much we can get off. All right, time for dodgy science. They reckon this goes tacky and dry within 4 to 6 hours. So let's try it out in the shed. We've got 3 pieces of steel, reasonably clean. They're all gal. I'm going to spray each one with about the same amount. I'm going to try this one after about 4 hours. I'm going to try that one tomorrow morning and that one tomorrow afternoon. We'll see the difference. About the same amount of spray per piece of steel, although I missed a bit there. I'll come back in a little while and we'll use the old paper towel trick to see how much we can pull out. Okay, first piece of metal, 4 hours later. It is quite tacky, but there's still fluid there. Okay, the following morning, and I was pushing down fairly firmly, and I think you can see 0 tack. Solid as a rock. One thing I have noticed mucking around with this stuff over the last few hours is how soft my hands have become. Normally when I muck around with grease and I'm spraying lubricants on things, my hands get sort of a bit cracked and dry. It's quite the opposite. They're actually really soft, kind of like a shearer's handshake. Well, there you go. Hopefully the video has helped you come up with a few new ideas for looking after tools and equipment and shown you how an Australian product can be quite versatile, and it's made out of sheep. What could possibly go wrong?